Welcome to iScope Media. And today we are talking about how Congress's strategies are actually taking place in Uttar Pradesh. Or should Congress have a tactical alliance with the Samajwadi Party or not? The Congress seems to be making the right moves in Uttar Pradesh right now. First with the women-oriented campaign, and then by declaring about 40% women candidates out of 125 announced so far, the party has managed to create some buzz in the state. But can the party translate the buzz into votes and seats? In 2017 Assembly election, when the Congress contested 114 seats in alliance with the Samajwadi Party, it hit rock bottom and could manage just 7 seats with a vote share of 6% in the state. But that was also an election in which every other party hit trough to the BJP wave. Well, there are signs that this election in Uttar Pradesh may be more competitive than the last one, which gives an opening to the Congress to increase its base in the state. Well, this time the party has already released a list of 125 candidates, and according to the news reports, plans to contest all the 403 seats in the state are there. The party's vote share has been hovering below 8% since 1996, apart from 2012 when it went to 11%. So does it make sense for the Congress to spread itself thin across the state right now? Or should it utilize its limited appeal in a targeted manner by focusing on a limited number of seats? A clue to the Congress revival may lie in the neighboring states. In Bihar and Jharkhand, when the Congress expanded in terms of seats contested, it failed miserably. And that is because it has no mass base left on the ground. In the 2014 Assembly election in Jharkhand, it contested 62 seats and won 6. Whereas in 2019, when it contested in alliance on half the number of seats, it won 16 out of the 31. Well, it can be argued that this uptick happened because the votes of its alliance partner were transferred to its kitty. But in Bihar, when the party was in alliance and managed to bargain more seats than its presence on the ground should have allowed, the result was a disaster. In the 2015 election, it contested 41 seats and won 27, whereas in the 2020 Assembly election, it contested on 70 seats and reduced its tally by 8 and won a mere of 19 seats. While it can partly be attributed to the 2015 alliance, a more formidable one, in 2020, the Congress underperformed even compared to its own allies like RJD and CPI-ML. The Congress substantially reduces its strike rate when it tries to grow without working on increasing its presence on the ground in terms of workers and cadres. Even in the last assembly election in Uttar Pradesh, its strike rate was just 6%. The question to ask is whether the Congress is better served by maintaining a vote share across the state or concentrating in areas where it can make a higher impact. The answer to this question may vary from election to election till the time the party can boast of a substantial cadre base. When the opposition space opens up, like it has this time, the Congress should worry about maximizing its gains to be able to bargain with other parties in a non-BJP space post-election. In Uttar Pradesh, where there have been numerous reports of Congress lacking cadre on the ground, it should utilize its resources in a much more concentrated manner. The question is, where should the Congress target its resources? Now let's look at few of the already established strategies of Congress in Uttar Pradesh. First, going with the Mission Awadh. The party still has a substantial presence in the Awadh region, which spends almost 90 MLAs to the assembly. In 2017, 3 out of the 7 winning candidates from the Congress came from Awadh. In 2012, it was 6 out of the 28. Its vote share in the region was 14% in 2017 and 25% in 2012, much better than its performance in other regions. Well, traditionally also this has been the stronghold of the party and includes the family bastions of Amethi and Raebareli. Well, this time too, the party has selected an interesting mix of candidates from this region. It has given tickets to mother of the Unnao rape victim Asha Singh. She would be contesting from the Unnao seat. Sadaf Jafar, the anti-CAA activist, has been given the ticket from Lucknow Central, and Ritu Singh, whose clothes were allegedly torn by the BJP workers, has been given a ticket from Mohammadi in Lakhimpur Kheri. Then there are traditional politicians who could do well in their respective seats. For instance, MLA Aradhana Mishra will be contesting from Rampur Khas, which is said to be the strongest seat for the Congress in Uttar Pradesh and the bastion of her father Pramod Tiwari. Well, two candidates in Kanpur are also said to be making a decent impact. Ajay Kapoor in Kidwai Nagar and sitting MLA Sohail Akhtar Ansari in Kanpur Cantonment. Now let's look at the possibilities in Purvanchal. Well, another region the party can target is Purvanchal, which has about 100 odd seats. In the 2012 Assembly election, the party won 8 seats from this region with a vote share of 10%. In 2017 election, the party won just 1 seat from the region but had a vote share of 25% in the seats, where it contested in alliance with the Samajwadi Party. Well, if the Congress can pick 50 to 60 seats in these regions and mount a focus campaign, particularly on the seats which the BJP is eyeing, it can achieve 2 goals. 1, it maximizes its chances of picking enough seats that can become decisive in the eventuality of the hung assembly. But the second goal is more important. Even if it does not stick enough seats but is able to impact the result by cutting votes of its national adversary, the BJP, it gives the future ally, Samajwadi Party, a strong footing to increase its tally. Well, the Samajwadi Party is on the path of resurgence. Most BJP turncoats are headed towards it. But its vote percentage has never touched 30% in any assembly election in Uttar Pradesh. On the other hand, the BJP and its allies crossed 40% in the 2017 assembly election and almost 59% in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. It's unlikely that in a direct fight, the Samajwadi Party can exceed the BJP's vote share. Only 3 or 4 cornered contests can ensure the BJP's defeat. This is where the Congress comes in and opens the space for an open or discreet understanding with Akhilesh Yadav. We're also looking at, recently Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had an exclusive interview. And here, let's take a look at the top quotes from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's interview. She said, in the last 2.5 years, if you look at the politics of UP, it is really the Congress party that has been fighting for cause of the people. Whether it was Unnao, whether it was Sonbhadra, whether it was CAA, NRC, it was really the Congress party that came out on the streets and fought. But she also said, despite not being power for 31 years in Uttar Pradesh, there were people on the ground who had still been our Congress workers, old workers, who had been there carrying the flag no matter what. Adding to that, she said, I would concede that our organization was extremely weak 2 years ago when I went there, that was to Uttar Pradesh, which is why for the last 2 years, our primary focus was to rebuild our organization. Nobody shirks accountability or responsibility for things, and I think my brother has time and again said that, she added. What we have to understand about the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh is that the decline of the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh is not something that happened in the last 5 years or 6 years. Adding to that, she also said, You can't assume that I will be the Congress Chief Minister candidate. I'm saying I'm the General Secretary of UP. The responsibility for UP is mine and I am dealing with it. You don't know yet whether I am or not. It is an open question for now, Ms. Gandhi said on being asked why she wasn't contesting the UP election. She also said, we think we should bring development and jobs and the progress into the center of the discourse. Adding to which, she also added that I think that primarily in UP, in the Congress, one of the big changes is that the access has opened up. And the opportunity has opened up. In many cases, there were people in the party who had enjoyed positions, etc., who had much better access, much better opportunity, and in many ways prevented others from rising. Well, now this was what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had to say about the UP election and the Congress in UP election. Now, if we take a look at the current scenario of the UP election, even Samajwadi Party has made alliances with different regional and smaller parties. We have also seen how Akhilesh Yadav has gained Hindu vote bank along with other communities. It has certainly been a game of community and caste in UP election fight. Akhilesh Yadav has emerged as a fighter against the BJP right now. Now, if Congress wants to win election, they must come up with a tactical alliance with Samajwadi Party for at least 40 seats in order to defeat the BJP. Otherwise, it will be like the frog story. The story that one frog standing in the road in order to stop a big lorry coming in high speed. Well, this was all about Congress's strategies and the strategies they should come up with for the UP election. iScope Political Desk will update you with the ground realities that will be the result on March 10th, which will be the lesson to all the political parties for the future strategies in their political examination. Well, this was Aparna Singh reporting for iScope Media.